So the big ugly bill just passed the House, and Trump's signing it into law tomorrow. Let's not sugarcoat it. This bill is a betrayal. It slashes Medicaid. It guts food stamps. It defunds housing and disability programs. It takes away life-saving help from the most vulnerable people in this country: the poor, the disabled, the elderly, the working class, just to hand billionaire tax cuts to the wealthiest Americans. And here's the twisted part. The worst of it doesn't even kick in until 2028, after Trump's out of office. How convenient. So Republicans can wash their hands of it and blame the suffering on who's president next. It's cruel by design, and sadly it's not surprising. Because if you really look at how this country has treated its poor and marginalized throughout history, this is just more of the same. For as long as America has existed, the people in power have written the rules and written the story. And they made sure we were taught a version of history that protects them. They tell us about brave founding fathers and great presidents. They leave out the enslaved people, the indigenous communities, the workers, immigrants, women, and protesters who were crushed beneath the myth of American greatness. That's why a book like A People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn is so important right now, because it tells the story of the other side of history, the one most of us never learned in school. Not the history of the winners, but the history of the resistors. Zinn shows how poor farmers were manipulated into fighting wars for the elite, how workers were jailed, beaten, or killed for striking, how black and brown people were denied basic rights under the same constitution we're told represents freedom. And just like today, those in power used racism, nationalism, and fear to divide ordinary people, to keep them from uniting against the system that was holding them down. So when you look at this bill, not as a one-off, but as a part of a long pattern, it hits different, because this isn't just politics. This is history repeating itself, and the people being hurt now are the same people who've always been pushed to the margins and erased from the story. But Zinn also shows something else, that change in this country has never come from the top. It's come from regular people, organizing, resisting, refusing to be erased. So if you're angry, if you're scared, if you feel like something is deeply wrong right now, read this book. Because once you see history through the eyes of the people who lived at the bottom, everything happening today starts to make more and more sense. And more importantly, you start to understand that it doesn't have to stay this way. A People's History of the United States won't just change how you see the past, it'll change how you see what's possible in the future.